Alright, I'm going to tie a Scud back stonefly here today, and I'm going to start off just getting some wraps of my tan 70 wrapped onto this size 8, and this is actually a hopper hook. If you have a curved nymph hook, you can use that, but I just like the shape of this, the curved hopper hook for this fly. And I'm going to add some eyes to this, and I've got these just little plastic dumbbell eyes that I'll add. If you don't have them, you don't need to add them, but I think it just gives a nice extra effect. So I'm going to tie it on right on top, and I'm going to use my thread to turn it into place. I'm just doing some figure eights just to get it locked in. And when I'm happy with that, then I'm going to advance my thread all the way back down, because I'm going to add some lead to this. So I'll bring it down to the point, and then I'll take my lead and just wrap it back from the point to the eye. Help this pattern get down. And then I'll break off that excess. Smooth everything out. Alright, now I can take my thread and wrap it through the lead. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, I'll advance my thread all the way down to where it starts to make the bend, and I'm going to add in a butt section to this. So I'm going to use some golden stone dubbing. I'm just going to put a small dubbing ball in here. Just a little tail. And then I'll tie in the tail section that I'm going to use is actually a goose biot, and I'm going to keep everything in that kind of tan golden family. So I'm going to use tan biots. And normally when I tie in like a prince nymph or something like that, I'll put them back to back and tie them in. For this, I'm going to tie them into the side. So I'm going to use the natural curve of the biot, and I'm going to set it on the side and tie it in just behind that dubbing ball. So I'll take my other biot and do the same thing. Just line them up, tie them right beside that dubbing ball, and just wrap them in there nice and tight. And then I can bring it all the way up and break off that last end. This has a rib to it, and the rib for this fly I use is just a V-rib, and this is again a tan V-rib. So I'll tie this in behind the lead. And then wrap that back up to about the midway point. And now I can start to add my body, and this is going to be a dubbed body. So I'm going to go back to my golden stone dubbing and just start to make a body to this. I'm going to bring the body all the way up to the eyes. So just start wrapping this in. Alright, then once I'm behind the eye, then I'm going to tie in my Scud back. And so I'll just take that, and this is an 1/8 inch brown Scud back. So I'm just going to get that tied in behind the eye. I'll stretch it out and use my V-rib to secure it. Make sure I'm right on top of the hook here. Just going to make some even turns back to my thread. So maybe 3 or 4 turns will get you there. And then I can trim up this ribbing and also just make a nice straight cut for that Scud back. And if you need to adjust it at all, now's your chance. No, just make sure everything is secured down with a couple of wraps. Alright, now I can add in my first set of legs. And for this I'm going to use those biats. So I'm going to get my same tan biats. And I'm going to use the natural curve of these to curve them away from the body. So I'm using that curve to curve away from the body. And get those in there and trim off the butt sections. Alright, now I can take my thin skin as the next material, and I'm going to use a mottled oak thin skin for this. And I'm going to cut that into a 1/4 inch strip, so it's going to be a little wider than the Scud back. And I'm going to put in just a notch, just a V, into the back of it. So that's my mottled thin skin. And I'm going to tie this in right behind those legs. So take it, measure it out back to the leg, and then secure that with a wrap. Bring it back. Now I'm going to fold this all over, and I'm going to tighten that up, and now I'll dub it once again. And this will be the process for all your legs. We're going to tie in 3 legs aside. So I'll dub just a little band, and then I'm ready for my next set of legs. And I'll tie these in exactly the same way. And I'll just stop slightly short of the distance that I took the last leg. So tie that into that side, bring it over to the other side, and tie that in. Trim off my legs. Now I can fold this back over. Make my wraps. Bring it back. Dub some more. And then I'll put in my last set of legs here. trim off the sections. And then I can fold that over. And then this will be the last time I dub it. And I'm going to dub the rest of it all the way up to the eye. So I'll take my dubbing material, and one more little bit pinch should do it, just to make sure I've given this guy plenty of volume. Alright, and now I can just bring that front part down, pinch it together, pull it back, make a couple more wraps, and now I can trim this off. And give them a thread nose, I guess, and some whip finishes here. And then trim that. Alright, so that's it. That is the Scud back stone. See what it looks like from the top here, and the side, and underneath.